So before you spend your $500 on the Hero 9 Black, here are some of the cons and pros that you should definitely consider before buying. So without wasting any time, let's get to the cons first. So the first con is Hero 9 Hypersmooth 3 is pretty much same as Hero 8 Hypersmooth 2.0. The only new thing that makes Hypersmooth 3 different is the horizon leveling option available only in linear field of view with Hypersmooth boost. So what this means is you can only get horizon level with linear field of view, which results in a tightly cropped video, eliminating tremendous field of view you could otherwise get with wide field of view and hypersmooth high, just like in the Hero 8 in 16:9 aspect ratio. So to get the widest field of view with hypersmooth and horizon level, you need to spend extra $100 on the max lens mod, making the Hero 9 a $600 camera, as otherwise it's pretty much the same as Hero 8 in terms of stabilization right out of the box. The second con is there is no hypersmooth high in 4:3 aspect ratio in the Hero 9. So shooting in 4:3 ratio gives you the widest field of view utilizing the full sensor size. So technically hypersmooth high with 4:3 would deliver widest field of view with better stabilization. But GoPro instead designed the max mod for $100 to get similar result. I really anticipated the Hero 9 to have hypersmooth high in 4:3, but unfortunately it does not, and it's very disappointing. Number 3 is so Hero 9's front screen has a lag and latency when shooting in 5K and 4K, so it's not ideal for vlogging in high quality. So it's best to capture selfies and frame your shot. So despite a front screen, there is still an option of display mode for $80 that GoPro would like you to pay for. Number 4 is because of the updated design and size, you can no longer use existing accessories of the 8 or 7 like the floaty, ND filters, dive housing, batteries and chargers. You'll need to buy all these additional accessories for the Hero 9, adding to the extra cost. Number 5 is apart from 5K 30, there is no change in resolution and frame rate options in the Hero 9 compared to the 8 or even the 7. I wish the 9 at least had 4K 60 Super View with Hypersmooth. Like not even Hypersmooth High, but at least standard Hero 7 Hypersmooth in 4K 60 with Super View. As a lot of us expected to see some major changes in resolution and frame rate options, such as 4K 120 FPS or 2.7K with 240 FPS. And finally are the pros. So the first is the Hero 9 gets a significantly upgraded battery from the previous models, which now has a 1700 mAh capacity compared to the previous 1200 mAh. So that's a 30% increase in battery life. And the updated battery can last longer in colder environments, making it ideal for night lapse and star trail photography. Number 2 is Hero 9 has a new 20 megapixel Sony sensor, which is a significant upgrade from the 8's 12 megapixel. So the new sensor definitely captures high resolution photos with higher detail than previous GoPro cameras, and it can also capture pictures in RAW format. Number 3 is hint sight. So hint sight is actually a very useful feature for GoPro cameras, and I wish this was introduced way before with the Hero 5 Black. So hint sight basically allows you to record any action that takes place 30 or 15 seconds before you press the shutter button. That way if you press the record button just after the action has occurred, you would still be able to capture it and view it later. But just keep in mind that this does drain the battery quicker as the camera is constantly scanning in ghost mode but not recording until you hit the record button. Number 4. Now this shouldn't be a pro really, but reintroducing the replaceable lens cover as we all wanted and should have been in the 8 as well is now back in the 9, making it a tad bit durable and better than the 8, unless you break the front display which is not replaceable. Number 5 is Time Warp 3.0. Now Time Warp 3.0 allows you to capture audio when switching to real time in between the time warp, unlike the 8th time warp which only allowed switching to real time video without audio. And lastly is the schedule capture, which lets you turn on the camera and capture automatically after setting in the time and the capture settings. Now this can also be done with the 8 using the QR code method, but it requires a few extra steps, so I'm glad that the 9 has it in the camera itself. And I find this feature to be useful That way you can frame your shots before night and dial in the settings and let the camera do its thing while you sleep or work out. So that's all I had to share in this video. If you already have the Hero 8 Black, then I would recommend that you continue using it and wait for the Hero 10, as that would definitely have some bigger internal upgrades with more frame rate and stabilization options. What makes the Hero 9 special is the Max Lens mod, which offers the Max Super View with Max Hypersmooth, but you have to spend the extra $100 and also wait until it's launched and available. Whereas if you don't have the 8 and plan to buy the 9, if you don't mind spending $600 to get the best from it with the required Max Lens mod and additional accessories, then that's totally up to you and you would definitely enjoy using the 9 as well. Or you could actually buy the Hero 8 Black at a lower price and still get the best stabilization currently available in the action cam market. For me personally, the 8 would still be a better option considering price and performance over the 9. Because honestly, there's hardly any difference in the Hypersmooth 3.0 with the Hypersmooth 2.0. And I would strongly suggest that you watch Hero 9 and Hero 8 comparison videos by Abe Kislevitz and DC Rainmaker. Both of these have demonstrated the differences very well, and then you can decide for yourself if you should upgrade to the 9 or continue using your 8. I have a ton of GoPro gear with me, and I have been using them for over 4 years. If you want to enjoy my RC car videos with GoPro cameras and also be updated with some technical GoPro tutorials, make sure to subscribe and like the video. And thanks a lot for watching.